Okay.
I believe it's that same signature we were looking at earlier in northwestern York County. Let me zoom in just a little bit. They haven't drawn that tornado warning up yet, but the National Weather Service mentioning they are working on extending the tornado warning into Gaston County and also Mecklenburg County.
Okay, so this will likely be issued for, again, that eastern part of Gaston County where Brandon's kind of zooming in right now. We have got Lowell and Belmont on the map here and western Mecklenburg County. So if you live West Charlotte, western edge of the county, up through the Mountain Island Lake area and even Lake Norman area too, you just want to head into that safe spot or just make sure you're away from the windows and outside walls just in case. And sure enough, look at this right here. And so as we look real close on the radar imagery and zoom into a couple of spots where we're talking about Belmont and Lowell, and we could hear our tornado warning alarms going off on your emergency alerts. Maybe some of you are hearing those too.
Just a heads up, anybody in our building, we need to get to our safe spot because this is going to include us as well.
Yeah,
towards the Belmont area.
Let's go ahead and zoom in real close there, street level, and kind of talk about some of the neighborhoods that may be impacted, since a lot of you watching right now may be living here in some of these areas. So we're looking at, again, South Belmont, and let's see if we can get the official word there on that tornado warning that, again, was just issued by the National Weather Service. So again, this just coming out, and maybe some of you are hearing your alarms going off on your phones, but at 9:17, so just a minute ago, we were watching this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So this is not actually spotted just yet, but we're looking at that possibility of a tornado because we are seeing signs of rotation there, located 5 miles southwest of Gastonia or near South Gastonia. This is moving northeast fast. It is racing at about 55 miles per hour. And again, you just want to hunker down that interior room away from those outside walls and windows, maybe like a closet or even a hallway. A lot of you I know do not have a basement. I don't have a basement. Most homes around here do not have basements. And so we just want to, again, be on that lowest level of the home, away from the outside walls and windows until this warning has passed.
So I'm circling that area of circulation.
Okay.
This includes Paradise Point, Cramerton, Belmont, Catawba Heights, Beachbrook, as you're lifting up towards Arlington. So I'm going to push this again. This is going to be moving off to the northeast, that area of rotation that I just circled there. So if there was a tornado on the ground, it'd be right where that circle is, and it'd be heading right towards Belmont here. And again, these pop up very, very fast. We were just talking about this, Tara, how it looked like that signature was going away and how it just came right back. Anytime you have this line of storms and where you get those little S's, those little curves popping up with the line, again, these can pop up very quickly within a line like this, and that's why we're seeing this pop up. So if you live really anywhere east of this line, you still want to make sure you're seeking shelter.
Exactly. So we had that happening right now. Again, the possibility of that rotation, a possible tornado. McAdenville, you live around McAdenville, Cramerton area, Springwood neighborhood, out toward Belmont, Catawba Heights, Browntown, Mount Holly, Nims and Hope Farm, Arlington, Twins Estates, Westmoreland. So we're looking at Gaston County here, the southern and eastern part of Gaston County, possibly a tornado trying to form or touch down here. At the very least, we could be looking at some damaging wind gusts here as this line is blowing through right now. So McAdenville, Highway 29, Cramerton, and you can see that heavy rain. And this is looking from our sign camera there, and there's that stretch of I-85 down below, and the rain is heavily coming down. We could hear it on our rooftops here because we're located right near the Gaston County line and western Mecklenburg County. So we're watching this closely as well. And yeah, those drivers are slowing down. The wind is going to be starting to pick up and move around those trees a little bit more. And there's a look at those lines on the radar imagery. So we've got that heavy rain right over Mount Holly, Belmont, and this tornado warning. So just to show you the outline there does include Cornelius. If you live in Cornelius, Huntersville, that stretch of I-77, northwest Mecklenburg County, Lake Norman, friends, and out toward Mountain Island Lake area too. You just want to hunker down and stay in that safe spot until this threat passes. This is
a live look from App State, the Hickory campus there. You can see that heavy rain and some very, very strong winds coming along that. You can actually see the rain like really whipping there as that rain comes down. So this is up towards Hickory is where we're looking at. We actually saw a little bit of hail with that storm, that part of the storm earlier too. It looks like it's clearing through, and that's the thing. This is moving very fast. it moves in and it moves out very quickly. However, that short time it's there, it definitely does pack a punch. So again, that's looking towards Hickory, the App State campus there. You can see that heavy rain that's moving through Hickory, Viewmont, and over towards Sweetwater. But again, our main concern right now is the tornado warning that runs until 10 o'clock this morning for Gaston County, really the most of Gaston County, and also as you're getting into western Mecklenburg County, northwestern parts of Mecklenburg County. So this includes Gastonia, Dallas, Mount Holly, and Belmont. But we are tracking that area of rotation. We'll pull out that area of rotation for you again. Just that little notch right in here, so
right
small.
there.
It's crossing Route 29, so right in between Gastonia and Cramerton.
Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more too in Lowell and the Cramerton area and get you a little more around street level. And if you're watching right now from Cramerton, West Cramerton, McAdenville, and so we're looking at, again, here Lowell, Highway 29, and this is pushing in this direction. So Catawba Heights on the map here. We've got Hutchinson and Mount Holly as well. So again, this doesn't necessarily mean a tornado is happening, but it is possible. So you just want to, again, stay inside, away from those outside walls of your house, more of like an interior room, like a bathroom, unless, of course, your bathroom has a window, then it wouldn't be. It would be closer to the exterior, but you just want to stay put in that closet, maybe like a coat closet or something like that, until this threat passes. And there we go. So looking live from our Arlington camera on the other side of me here, you can see just the heavy rain in the distance and that low-lying cloud deck, too. And so, yeah, this line moving pretty fast and moving into more of the Charlotte metro as we speak, where again, Mecklenburg County is also included in that northwestern Mecklenburg County in that tornado warning until 10 o'clock this morning. The camera shaking around a little bit. So even outside of any possible tornado, we definitely have some pretty intense wind blowing around from time to time. We were taking a look at those wind gusts a little bit earlier and clocking at around 50 to even close to 60 miles per hour so far. Tornado safety, Brandon has that up on the screen here. And again, we're talking about that interior room. So here's like a bathroom or, like I said, a closet. And if you're thinking, I don't have this type of area, well, even a hallway on the inside of the home would work. Bedrooms on either side, something like that, if your home is laid out like that. And again, if you do have a basement, obviously that's the safest place to go. But most of us around here do not have basements. So that's why you just want to stay on that lower level until that threat passes. And again, here's a look at some of those intense wind gusts, 52-mile-per-hour wind gusts at last check in Rock Hill as that line was moving through a little bit ago. And just checking here some of the latest storm reports, see if we have anything, any observations. I don't see anything here at the moment, but again, even if you are just under a severe thunderstorm warning, you almost want to treat it as a tornado warning where something could quickly spin up. And there we go. We've got Charlotte Airport on the map too.
Yeah, and something I've noticed, it looks like we've got two areas of rotation that are forming within this tornado warning here, Tara. It looks like we've got one over towards the Twin Estates area, and also there was one just popping up over towards Beachbrook, but it might have went away there.
A little weaker at the moment,
But that's our main area of rotation, moving up towards Hope Farm now.
Yeah, so this is right on the edge of 485. So once you get off that exit there and you head into, so we're looking around in the Mount Holly area. So right there to the south, Westwood Forest, Twins Estates, and these neighborhoods, Arlington, Rhine, Hope Farm. And so, yes, we could possibly be seeing a tornado here trying to form in that rotation, still showing up within the thunderstorm. And you might be thinking, what are we looking at here? Yes, what this shows, this is not your typical radar imagery that you're used to seeing with the greens and the reds on the map. We're looking at the shifting winds as we go higher up in the atmosphere. And so when the radar picks that up and the rain moving toward the radar or away from the radar, it shows this little couplet here, and that could show, that twisting happening in the atmosphere. And look at this. Where are we looking right now? So is this from our Arlington camera? Yeah, so this is our Arlington camera, which is in uptown Charlotte, but looking way in the distance, and you can see those low clouds and that rain shaft with that intense rain coming down out of those clouds, and definitely some high wind right now that is pushing into the Charlotte metro and toward uptown, and that real intense rain too. And again, we've still got eastern Gaston County, western Mecklenburg County right here, just really getting that torrential rain. Ashley Park and Glenwood neighborhood Greenwood and off to the south and stretching all the way down to South Carolina. But again, the main concern here is still for the Mount Holly area, that eastern part of Gaston County, where we could be looking at a possible tornado and definitely some high winds moving on through right now. It's got kind of a wider view.
Such a strong downdraft out of that, where that rain
Yeah.
is hitting the ground and spreading out and producing those very gusty winds. So, I mean, again, even if you're not under that tornado warning, so uptown Charlotte, you're not considered under the tornado warning, but you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's a live look at what's coming through right now. Again, those damaging wind gusts and even some hail we've been seeing out of some of these storms as well. I'm seeing just a little bit of a hail core popping up just past Ashley Park and moving towards Serverville and Glenwood. So just to keep that in mind, we've also got damaging wind gusts and potentially some hail moving into Charlotte, although we still have that tornado warning that continues for eastern Gaston County and up through northwestern Mecklenburg. I'm seeing just a little bit of a hook there. Again, we've got just a few areas of rotation trying to pop up, but it looks like this might be the strongest area of rotation right now, moving towards Hope Farm. But as we were mentioning, you know, with this line, you can get multiple areas of circulation. That's the thing, they pop up so quickly with very little warning. So that's why everybody wants to make sure they're getting to their safe spot, the interior room, the lowest level of your home possible.
Right. I know we saw this back in May of last year, well, almost this past year, May of 2024, in Gaston County and Cleveland County, where we were tracking just that intense line of storms. And we did end up having a couple of weak tornadoes come out of that here, even under severe thunderstorm warning. So again, sometimes these could just kind of quickly spin up, which is why we have that current tornado warning happening here, again, over eastern Gaston County, and all this activity kind of lifting quickly. I mean, these storms are racing here today, and gives you an indication how strong the wind is too in the atmosphere, just pushing these things along here, but moving quickly up into the northeastern, northwestern part of Mecklenburg County right now. So the rain is going to be picking up a lot more in parts of Huntersville and up toward the Lake Norman area, High Shoals and Stanley. We've got that band of torrential rain moving in, but again, it's still that area of concern where we're still looking at the possibility of some rotation, a possible tornado near the Mount Holly area, heading into northeastern Gaston County and trying to push out towards, say, the Lake Norman, Mountain Island Lake area as well. And I really don't see, it looks like, again, the signature that was showing up, that little bit of a couplet, which shows rotation, it kind of collapsed a little bit, looking a little bit weaker. But again, that could change quickly, where we could see that rotation starting to form once again. So you just want to hunker down until we say, okay, the warning has passed, and we'll let you know, of course, when that happens too.
The National Weather Service is going to keep this going until 10 o'clock. They're going to continue the tornado warning here, just updating that. So obviously still seeing at least enough area of rotation there to keep the warning going.
And that's around the Stanley area, Mount Holly area. You can see some of the darker shades with the lighter shades of red, and sometimes we see that even lighter color matching up with the red. So that can show, again, the twisting wind in the atmosphere here. So Mountain Island Lake and up toward Allison Ferry, and eventually up into northwestern, more of northern Mecklenburg County, seeing the brunt of that storm moving in with that possible rotation. So just stay put inside, lowest level of your home, away from those windows, obviously, and in some sort of exterior, or rather interior room, like a closet or a bathroom, as long as, of course, the bathroom doesn't have a window, just until that warning has passed. And even the severe thunderstorm warning too, just kind of stay put until we say, okay, the warning has expired and we're looking okay. And let's look back off to the west too, and where we did have some of those warnings earlier, and you can see how things are, it's still raining outside, but definitely settling down. And I would say here, certainly at the moment, and for a while here, you are in the clear. Shelby and Gaffney, South Carolina, we had some warnings over the Greenville-Spartanburg area a little bit earlier this morning too. So things are settling down back off to the west. It's just these main lines here, now moving east of Hickory, Lincolnton, Gastonia, Mount Holly area, and down right over the heart of Mecklenburg County, stretching into South Carolina, and now western Union County too, getting in on some of that torrential rain. And all of that is pushing quickly to the east. I mean, these lines are moving at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. And yeah, it looks like we have, you can see the Independence Boulevard camera, that is shaking around in the distance there. So Yeah, as we look from high above and not very many cars on the road, and so a lot of people are saying, okay, we're just going to wait until this storm, this line has passed. Of course, it's early-ish on a Sunday morning, so a lot of you may be getting a nice and slow start after it's been such a rainy weekend off and on. But yeah, this is definitely the brunt of the activity moving through here today, and even later on this afternoon, we could still see a few spotty showers and storms. But this current tornado watch overall is set to expire at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, I know we were talking about that, the tornado warning, obviously for Gaston County and up into, northwestern Mecklenburg County there, but still want to highlight this whole line of storms is severe warned. So even if you live outside of the tornado warning, you still want to make sure that you're getting to your safe spot. Just got an update from the Charlotte Douglas Airport, gusting up to 58 miles per hour at Charlotte Douglas just came in there. So, that's just two pretty much damaging wind gusts that's moving through the Charlotte Airport region. So again, that's why regardless if you're under the tornado warning or not, you still want to treat it, as if you're under a tornado warning and get to that safe spot.
Right, and you're seeing lots of different things happening here on the map right now. And the difference between that lighter orange and the darker red, those are the orange color is that severe thunderstorm warning, which does include, again, Cabarrus County and down to South Carolina. But we're really focused right now on more of the turbulent weather moving through eastern Gaston County and northwestern Mecklenburg County with the possibility of a tornado here. So that's where we have that tornado warning, that darker red box, and that expires at 10 o'clock here. So we'll continue to track the storm along with you as long as necessary here and any additional warnings that do pop up. But for now, we're looking at the possibility of a tornado trying to form or touch down here, funnel cloud, out into, say, the Mountain Island Lake area right now as it's moving quickly to the east and now starting to push a little more away from the Mount Holly and Stanley areas and more into that northwest corner of Mecklenburg County. So if you live around Lake Norman and Huntersville and our northern suburbs, you just want to, Cornelius Davidson, just hunker down in that safe spot in your home, just as long as you're away from those outside walls and windows until that threat has passed. So again, you can see at the bottom of the screen, Lincoln, Gaston, Cabarrus, and Mecklenburg counties, that tornado warning until 10 o'clock. And you may be saying Lincoln County, if you live right now in Lincoln County, we haven't been focusing on that so much. It's just that southeastern sliver of Lincoln County. So we're talking about Lake Norman, Mountain Island Lake area, so areas just kind of near the Denver area too. And if you live around there and on the other side of the lake, you just want to stay put. We have this real heavy band of rain that's going to be pushing in to your neck of the woods too, say around the Denver area and the rest of Lake Norman here shortly. And lots of gusty wind, and that's going to be the main threat with these storms passing through here today. So while the rain is a little bit lighter around Cowens Ford and Lowesville right now, that is really going to be picking up as this next band moves in from the west, from around Newton and Catawba County and marching through that eastern part of Lincoln County.
And now it's just starting to come up in South Charlotte, 2,000 without power already in South Charlotte. So again, definitely some powerful wind gusts moving through with this line. As far as the tornado threat goes, you were just talking about some of those notches. Looks like we do have a few. Just kind of little notches right here, a few areas of spin, weaker areas, but still serious. That's that spot where we could see just a quick spin up. Tornado try to develop. You got one notch just south of Lowesville. You got a couple of notches lifting up towards Huntersville. So again, still an active tornado threat within that warning that runs until 10 o'clock. Zooming out just a little bit here, the main line that just moved through Charlotte definitely was a strong line. We heard it on our roof. We've seen it live from our exclusive Arlington camera. But this is now starting to move towards Harrisburg and Concord. So Cabarrus County, you're probably like, what storms are you talking about? Well, you're getting ready to feel the impacts here over in Harrisburg. So this is getting ready to cross I-45, the outer loop there, getting ready to move towards Harrisburg, towards Charlotte Motor Speedway, Concord, that area, Kannapolis. So you guys probably within the next 10 minutes or so are going to start to get the brunt of the storm in regards to gusty winds, heavy rainfall, And again, we're also concerned about that potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And it looks like National Weather Service going to continue that warning, that tornado warning we're tracking. And it does, if you look at it, there's no imminent threat of a tornado for Cabarrus County yet, but it does extend towards towards the western portions of Cabarrus County. They've just kind of shrunk it up a little bit. So that warning now doesn't include Mount Holly. So Mount Holly, Dallas, Belmont, Cramerton, Gastonia, you're in the clear of a tornado. It looks like for the most part in Gastonia, Dallas, Mount Holly, Belmont, even uptown Charlotte and Pineville, and down towards Fort Mill and TKK, Rock Hill, we're starting to get in the clear of the worst weather. But off to the east, we still have a lot of communities that are going to have to deal with this. So Catawba, Statesville, Troutman, Mooresville, pretty much getting ready to align the I-77 corridor from Statesville down to Huntersville and also just north of Uptown there. So definitely still have some impacts to track. And the center there is that tornado warning until 10 o'clock this morning, and that's where we're going to continue to watch maybe the potential for just a possible weak spin-up tornado there, lifting up towards Huntersville and Cornelius. And again, Tara, there's no confirmed tornado right now. This is just radar indicated, where we're seeing a little bit of spin on the radar to indicate there could be a possible tornado at any moment in that area.
Right. We keep checking for those storm reports, anything coming in, any sort of damage reports from even the gusty wind, but we haven't seen any just yet, and sometimes these things are a little bit delayed. So we'll keep you posted, but no official confirmed tornado so far reported on the ground. We're just looking at the possibility of that quick spin up. And this is a look here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I was just actually out there last night for the Speedway lights, the Speedway Christmas, and some of that drizzle. Obviously, the weather has gotten more intense, and they have been watching for that gusty wind just moving in out there too with some of those decorations down below. But we can see that low-lying deck of clouds there in the distance, the raindrops, of course, on the camera lenses. Brandon was just talking about if you're living around Cabarrus County and the Concord, Kannapolis areas where the weather hasn't been so bad just yet this morning, it is moving in, that line moving quickly in from the south and west. And I'm going to kind of step off screen and show you what it looks like here on radar. And we can see again, Mecklenburg County, we are still under that tornado warning until 10 o'clock here this morning. But we get a look back here at the radar, and yeah, we're looking at here Cabarrus County and Kannapolis area where the tornado warning also is in effect. And again, we're starting to see that line, that heavy rain moving through Hopewell right now. So we're talking about the Huntersville area, Hopewell High School, and eventually, yeah, it's moving out toward DeWeese and Wallace Crossroads and zooming into some of these spots here. Again, Cornelius, Davidson getting some of that heavy rain right now, but moving into that northern part of Cabarrus County. So we're also looking at some heavy rain moving on up into Iredell County and Lake Norman, Mooresville. That rain getting a little bit heavier here shortly with this band, this kind of northern extent, kind of two broken lines here, but that's going to be moving right through Statesville, Catawba, Troutman area, Claremont, and Lake Norman here shortly as it's moving quickly to the north and east. And just checking here, we're hearing a lot of our alerts going off here in the office, and no major change. We're still looking at that severe thunderstorm warning for Cabarrus, Mecklenburg, Rowan, and Union counties too, because again, this line of heavy rain stretching all the way down into our Union County suburbs, Indian Trail, Weddington, Waxhaw, you're watching down there too. Treat it as a tornado warning just because we could quickly see something spinning up out of this line of storms or some sort of rotation developing, which again has prompted that severe thunderstorm warning and then the tornado warning up to the north. So yeah, even though Cornelius, Huntersville, that rain is kind of letting up around part of the Lake Norman area right now, we still have yet to see this batch of heavy rain moving in from the west. And so that's going to continue to close in on the area right over Lake Norman, Cornelius, up toward Mooresville. So we have another round of some heavy rain and potentially some real strong wind gusts coming in here over the next several minutes. This is all moving quickly, as we've been saying, 50 to 60 miles per hour. So at least it moves through, it's over and done with quick. And we look back off to the west, and I was checking that tornado watch that was in effect until 1 p.m. for, say, Cleveland County and points west. Well, at least down into parts of South Carolina, that tornado watch is being kind of trimmed back and being allowed to expire because, again, the threat is over places like Greenville, Spartanburg. So if you're traveling down that way, a little bit later on today, still, you could run into some scattered showers and storms as we go into the afternoon, but that tornado threat is over for friends in the Greenville, Spartanburg area. Meantime, we're still watching for the possibility of, again, a quick spin-up tornado. The watch continues for Cabarrus County, Rowan County, where we do have those, again, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect.
Now, I was mentioning this morning, Stanley County, Richmond County, you weren't included in that, but you want to treat it as if you're under that tornado watch because this line of storms is going to move through your community as well. So in Stanley County towards Albemarle, Ansonville, Wadesboro, again, you might not be under that tornado watch, but you're now under, I believe, a severe thunderstorm warning, which is issued for those communities now.
Yeah, severe
we're
thunderstorm
just talking
warning.
about them. So yeah, so Anson County and Stanley County, you're now under a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, you want to make sure you're getting ready to get to your safe spot. And we were kind of mentioning that through the morning. Not everybody was included in that tornado watch, but you still want to pretend as if you're in a tornado watch, even if you weren't issued with that earlier, because this is a pretty strong line of storms that's continuing to push off to the east towards Cabarrus and now advancing towards Union County and also towards Stanley as well.
And just a couple of minutes ago, we were looking live here, Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is where we're looking right now. Just next to me on the screen, the weather was okay just a couple minutes ago. Now, boy, that rain is coming down as it's moving right over that western edge of Cabarrus County there and heading right up toward Kannapolis. Again, still looking at a tornado warning there for Cabarrus County until 10 o'clock this morning. So even though it may seem okay outside, maybe some gusty wind, just know that we could see that quick spin-up tornado out of these lines of storms moving through here today and possible rotation. As we take a look back here at the velocity and the storm winds as we look higher up in the atmosphere, see if there's any twisting happening, and we look for the little couplet, a little tiny nodule, if you will, on the map where we see kind of a different shading like a green or a beige color meeting up with the red, and there's no kind of defined area showing up right now. So a lot of that, it looks like, has weakened. That rotation indication has kind of weakened a little bit, but sometimes they get a little more defined. And again, but we see some of these darker colors and still looking at possibly some rotation within that thunderstorm. Whether or not a tornado is actually touching down, again, that has yet to be seen. We haven't seen any official confirmed reports as the storm line was moving through back off to the west, but just know that it is possible. It's possible that we could see that quick spin-up tornado as we're looking here. So we've got Hopewell and Wallace Crossroads and the Cabarrus County area as we move off to the east there, and Highway 73 on the map, and Mount Pleasant. Again, all of you under that tornado warning with the possibility of a quick spin-up tornado until 10 o'clock. So we have about 15 minutes to go here on this, and we'll see if it's extended. But even if the weather seems pretty tame right now off to the east, and Brandon was talking about this, Stanley, Anson, Richmond County, you all are also under a severe thunderstorm warning because that line is moving in quick. So we've got the rain really coming down as we were looking. Charlotte Motor Speedway, not far from the Harrisburg area, off to the south, Roberta Mill, Poplar Tent, I-85 corridor. That's heading into West Concord right now. Concord proper, Cook's Crossing, and Cold Springs there to the east. And so Rowan County too, yeah, going to get in on some of that heavy rain and people trying to drive slowly and likely slowing it down there. Certainly on that I-85 corridor, we're going to get some of that heavy rain lifting up toward China Grove too. Yeah, we can see some of those bright colors showing up, Mint Hill and Hemby Bridge, and so possibly some small hail. And it looked like we were seeing that near the Hickory area, the App State Hickory campus out there in Catawba County a little bit earlier. Fairview, this line is blowing quickly in your direction. I mean, literally, we had that strong wind, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gust pushing this line so quickly through the area. And so it's going to be over and done with, it seems like, before you know it. But there we go. So we have that severe thunderstorm warning. That's in effect for Stanley County because, again, all of this is headed your way. Some strong gusty wind through about 10:30, that severe thunderstorm warning. Anson County, Richmond County. Union County and down into Chesterfield County off to the south as well. And so, yeah, it looks like the National Weather Service did extend possibly that tornado warning into Iredell County.
Yeah, so they've continued that warning. They've extended it now for Cabarrus and up to Iredell and even parts of Rowan County. So it's now issued for southern Iredell County, western Rowan County as well. And I think what they're seeing is there's just a few notches in this line here. Let me actually zoom this out. And there's a lot going on. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings and also those tornado warnings kind of crossing over each other there. But there's just a few small notches that have been kind of repeatedly coming up here over the last hour or so, Tara. And I think they might just be needing some caution there because I'm not seeing a lot in regards to twisting of the wind.
Right.
But we've seen history of this part of the line of storms where we've seen a little bit of wind shear, just some twisting of the winds, producing that possible quick spin up. So I think they're just trying to play it safe here with that. But again, and that's why we were saying, even though not everybody's under a tornado warning, you still want to treat this line as a tornado warning because we could have a quick spin up along the entire line because of just how there's a lot of twisting of the winds along it. So you still want to be in your safe spot. And I know a lot of people might be heading to church right now too, just different things to think about. Might want to just stay indoors until this line blows through your area.
Yeah, and that's one good thing about it. It is moving through quickly, so it's not lasting all the rest of the morning, even though it may still be raining in some neighborhoods and back off to the west. But the severe threat is going to clear pretty quickly after these warnings come to an end. But for now, again, we do have that tornado warning now does include Iredell County and Rowan County as well, as that line continues to lift up to the north and east. So this includes the Mooresville area, China Grove, Cleveland, eventually up towards Salisbury too. As we're seeing, as Brandon was saying, we're not seeing any real good definition of some rotation or a tornado trying to form or touch down here across the area at the moment, but just know that that could quickly change. And so that's why the National Weather Service has gone ahead and just kept that tornado warning going until 10:30 now for these areas. So Statesville included in this, and it's because of this line here and right at the southern edge of the line and near Cornelius and Lake Norman, we could get that quick spin up. Again, at the very least, some strong wind gusts. We've got some real intense wind blowing through as well. So keeping it inside, away from the windows, away from those outside walls, just to be on the safe side. And this is lifting up toward, there we are, Statesville Road. And as we get into Iredell County, Highway 21, Mooresville, Mount Morn area, south and east of Troutman and Cleveland, where the rain is not so bad outside right now. Maybe conditions seem relatively tranquil, a little bit of a breeze, but it could really get definitely more intense here over the next couple of minutes as this line moves in. So this is moving to the east. And again, you can see that red outline, which does show the areas included in that tornado warning until 10:30. And Brandon's put the radar imagery in motion. You can see how it's moving quickly. So it's moving away from you all in the Claremont area and Newton. So things are settling down. The rain is still falling, but Hickory and Newton, you are pretty much in the clear at this point in time, and points west, which is why we'll likely see a quick cancellation. And we have been seeing a cancellation of some of those tornado watches back off to the west. But that threat does continue for Rowan County, Iredell County, and points east, like Stanley County and the rest of Cabarrus County until that line passes through, especially south of Concord. Look at that, just to the south of Highway 601, kind of here we are, Fars Mill and Jackson Park.
Area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jackson Park and Roberta Mill, Flo's store, and yeah, Rocky River Road, and this is all pushing to the east, and right there along that Highway 73 corridor in 601 too. And we look back, stepping off screen, let me just check. It looks like as we look back off to the west in Burke County, Valdez, a report coming in from Burke County 911. They've had some calls about some trees down in the Valdez area. So the only kind of damage report we're seeing thus far, and hopefully it stays that way where we don't see any additional reports coming in, but yeah.
Yeah, we did have a few power outages coming in. If we can go ahead and flip over to that. I mean, we've definitely seen power outages come up quite a bit with those gusty winds coming through. We've got over on Links 1. You can see it there. Again, that's a pretty good amount of the area that are dealing with power outages there. Mecklenburg County, 10 to 25,000 without power. Those power outages have come up very quickly here as that line of storms move through. York, about 1 to 5,000 without power. Lancaster, 1 to 5,000 without power. So definitely seeing some higher power outage numbers now coming into our viewing area as that line of storms has moved through. And I expect this number to continue to increase. So Cabarrus County, Stanley County, Union County, where the line has just moved into your area, power outages aren't up yet, but I expect Cabarrus, Rowan, Stanley, and also as you're getting into Anson and Richmond County, those power outages likely going to be going up here as this line of storms continues to push off to the east.
And it looks like we have a report coming in from North Iredell Rescue Squad. Trees down on I-40 East at mile marker 157, Statesville area. So we've got some reports of trees down
up
on
in this spot, probably where this moved through.
Right, with that line moving through. So some reports of trees down there. So impacting travel up that way, of course, main thoroughfare, especially as we're kind of ending this holiday week and holiday weekend for a lot of people before we get into the new year. But yeah, definitely, thankfully, this is not going to last the entire day. We're seeing the worst of the weather really coming through here this morning and through early this afternoon with that tornado warning that is in effect until 10:30. So we're looking right now, and you can see those red boxes on the map from Mooresville and up into Rowan County. Possible tornado. We're not saying that one has officially touched down, that there is anything confirmed out there, but just know that there could be a quick spin up tornado out of this line. And it looks like, again, severe thunderstorm warning. So that's going to continue for Cabarrus, Davie, Iredell, and Rowan County. Looking back at the Monroe Airport in Union County, it looks like they had a wind gust of 61 miles per hour with that line that is moving through, kind of currently moving through the central portion of Union County and pushing to the east. And yeah, boy, that rain is just intense, and the wind right there along that 601 corridor and pushing east into Stanfield, Oakboro, Wingate, Marshville. So right there along Highway 74, a lot of travelers out there too, and thinking of hitting the road today. It's yeah, pretty nasty weather out there right now. Marshville, Polkton, under, again, a severe thunderstorm warning here. But again, we look back up to the north, and Brandon, I guess we could look here again at the storm winds and see what's going on. If we see any additional signature trying to show up here, that little couplet, as we say, which could show the possibility of a tornado. And again, we're still seeing this from time to time. For instance, Brandon circled one area where we see these darker shadings meeting up with the lighter colors here, the possibility, certainly some rotation happening within these storms.
This is lifting up towards just southeast of Mooresville. So it's moving through the Mooresville area. Also, as you're lifting north, so you've got you're crossing 5 Points there and Millbridge, just a few areas there that would need to, making sure you're getting to your safe spot. It's just so tough right now because, again, these areas go away and then they come right back. They're a very quick spin up tornado situation when it comes down to this line, what we call a QLCS line, where you basically just get a line of storms, but you get a lot of S-curves along the line, so you can kind of see it, not so much with the southern part of the line, but just this northern part of the line through Troutman, Statesville, where you just have a little bit of the curving of the winds there. That's where you get just a little bit of the twisting, and that can produce that quick spin up. So that's where we're really concerned for a quick spin up tornado towards Mooresville, Cornelius, China Grove, and also as you're getting up into Cleveland, North Carolina, towards Iredell County.
Right, so in Cleveland, that's going to be there for you all, say around 10 after 10. Again, we were tracking this main line here back off to the west, so about 10:10, it's going to be heading through that northern part of Rowan County. And Mooresville, yes, that rain is really about to pick up over a good part of Mooresville. And we look on down to the south, China Grove and Landis here. We have a little thinner band of some heavy rain, but this is kind of the main area back off to the west that we're watching, and just kind of at the southern edge of this line where we could see that quick spin up tornado and possibly some rotation, say near the Mooresville area, Lake Norman, Troutman area. And you can see just the strong winds showing up here. No real good defined area of rotation showing up. Again, we see that popping up from time to time around the Mooresville and Iredell County area, but for the most part, it is just that line of strong and potentially damaging wind gusts. And we have seen that here today. When we say damaging wind, we're talking about about 60, 65 mile an hour wind gusts, or even less. I mean, even 50 mile per hour wind gusts, that's bad enough. And we've seen some reports of that today at the Monroe Airport, at the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, with those lines moving through. And yeah, Mount Pleasant, Highway 73, and Concord there, 601. And yeah, that rain is just really picking up, maybe some small hail as well from time to time. And now we're looking at Stanley County. So if you live around Meisenheimer and New London and Albemarle and down that stretch of 52 there, so that is all going to be moving into your area. Baden Lake, Red Cross, Stanfield, Oakboro. Yeah, that line is closing in on those areas, which is why we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. But as we've been saying, Brandon and I back and forth, just almost treat it as a tornado warning and just be ready to head into that safe spot away from those outside walls and windows. And you should do that anyway during a severe thunderstorm warning, but just know that we could see that quick spin up tornado out of these two lines moving through the area. So Pageland, Jefferson, now we're looking into that western part of Chesterfield County. Boy, that rain is really coming down there. Ruby, Chesterfield, Highway 9, and out toward Route 1. All of this blowing through, and Chesterfield, friends, Cheraw, all of that is headed your way with some strong wind and some real heavy rain, too.
Yeah, so the good news is, you know, if you live in like the western half of our area towards Lincolnton, Gastonia, Stanley, Cherryville, we're pretty much where Tara's kind of circling there, Morganton, Shelby, Hickory, Lenore, you're in the clear right now for when it comes down to severe weather. So that's good news for you folks. Also towards York, Chester, and as you're getting back towards the foothills and the mountains. But we just have that eastern edge of our viewing area. So eastern Cabarrus County towards Mount Pleasant, some heavy rain, some potentially damaging wind gusts, and even some small hail there moving towards Mount Pleasant and just past, just now east of downtown Concord. So if you live in Mount Pleasant, maybe Mount Pleasant community there, you're going to be dealing with some heavy rain, some small hail, and even some gusty winds. And then as we get further south, Wingate University community, you're going to be dealing with you're already dealing with some heavier rainfall. At Marshville, you know, you're up next. So again, this is moving through very, very quickly to the east. So as quick as it's there, you know, it packs its punch. It does move out very quickly. But you got two lines here, one that's moving through Chesterfield County, down through Union County, and also up through eastern Cabarrus County. And then we have a secondary, smaller line that's moving up through Statesville and Troutman along I-77 through Iredell County. We still have that tornado warning. I haven't seen any updates with it quite yet from the National Weather Service, but we still have that tornado warning that includes pretty much the heart of our viewing area right now towards Mooresville, China Grove, Kannapolis, so western portions of Rowan County, Iredell County, and up into really, I guess that'd be just kind of the main areas there until 10:30.
Yeah, there's a correction on that. We were mentioning about that wind damage with a report of trees down on part of I-40 at Statesville. So this is I-40 eastbound at the exit 154 ramp in Statesville. So this is 154, not 157. So this is I-40 at the 154 ramp in Statesville. So again, yes, these storms, these lines producing some of that wind damage here today. We checked some of those current wind gusts, and well, at last check, these are updated every few minutes, but we had 41 mile per hour wind gusts in Rock Hill. That was up to 52 earlier today with that line moving through just a little bit ago this morning. And to that report of a 61 mile per hour wind gust at the Monroe Airport, and we had some of those intense gusts at the Charlotte Douglas International Airport too, as that line pushed through and back off to the east. So again, the main concern right now is that tornado warning, possibility of a tornado trying to form. We don't have any official confirmation of that right now, but certainly some strong wind, but we could see a tornado quickly trying to form until 10:30, that tornado warning continuing. So this is now, and I will say, as we look on down into northern Mecklenburg County, really that threat is now kind of lifting more into Iredell County and moving through Rowan County at the time. So you can see how the red outline no longer includes, say, Huntersville and Mount Holly. We were talking a lot about Mount Holly neighborhoods a little bit earlier, McAdenville, severe clear at this point in time. So that's just as important to let you know too, in case you have to head out on the roads or just for your you can go ahead and relax and your general sanity too. Just say, okay, that threat has ended and we're back off to the west. But for now, again, we're just still concerned about the possibility of a tornado.
And just an update from National Weather Service, they're going to extend this until 10:30 now, 10:30 this morning for Iredell and Rowan counties. The tornado warning you've got there right behind you.
So you can see how that red outline we were just talking about, how it did kind of adjust a little bit. So now we're looking at mainly the heart of kind of the northern part of Rowan County and Troutman, Statesville areas. So we've got that heavy rain moving through right over the heart of Statesville and Troutman right now. So I-77, we had that report of some wind damage, some scattered trees down I-40 eastbound at the 154 ramp. And that is pushing to the east. So friends in Cleveland County, or rather Cleveland area, not Cleveland County, but we're looking at northern Rowan County and off to the south here along Highway 21. Just go ahead, stay put.
I think we've got another tornado warning that was just
there we
issued
go.
down
Okay.
towards Stanley County. So that's the thing. We've got two lines here. So we've got one line that's moving up through Statesville and Iredell County. We were just talking about that tornado warning for Mooresville and up into Cleveland, North Carolina, towards northern Iredell County. But we just had another tornado warning. This one's going to be issued for Stanley County until 10:30.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and kind of look at the velocities here. Again, if you look at the reflectivity, you can kind of see the twisting of the winds there, Tara. Kind of notice just a little bit of twisting moving up towards Red Cross and Oakboro. So that little twisting of the wind, that's a sign of just a possible spin-up tornado trying to form there.
And let's look here just near the Midland area. So southern Cabarrus County, we were looking at this possible rotation about 7 miles east of Midland. And that was about 14 miles southwest of Albemarle. So this was moving northeast, this possible tornado at about 60 miles per hour. So it is racing through. So yeah, there we go. I mean, as Brandon was just kind of pointing out, the Red Cross, Stanfield, Oakboro areas with that possible tornado. This is going to be getting into Albemarle and Plyler. This is over the next few minutes, within the next 3 minutes. And so again, Albemarle, you're in the clear right now. It's not even really raining outside. But boy, it is about to pick up quickly over the next, say, 3 to 5 minutes where that rain is picking up, and we could be looking at a possible tornado here within this part of the storm, this main line. It's going to be around Baden Lake. So if you live around there, Baden Lake around 10:15.
And the assistant fire marshal there in Cabarrus County reporting they've got calls of multiple downed trees in Concord and Mount Pleasant along Highway 73 and Highway 601. That's where we just saw that brunt of the storm pass through southern Cabarrus County towards really eastern Cabarrus County there. So now we're just watching this little twisting. You can kind of see the twisting there where the flows kind of leave into a little notch there.
Right. Yeah, so right in here, and again, we were looking at the Red Cross and Oakboro area right now. And you can see how quickly it changes with each radar scan. It moves just that much farther to the east. So it's moving quickly over the area. Red Cross, Oakboro right now, and Stanfield here. So we're looking, as we mentioned, not too far, about 7 miles away from Midland. And so we're looking at the southern part of Cabarrus County and toward the Red Cross area. And we're seeing, again, a little bit of, as we look to the south, I'm curious about here, just to the south of Oakboro here, and notice how the darker colors kind of meet up with those lighter red colors, and this shows where we could be looking at some rotation or a tornado trying to form. Again, south of Oakboro, and you can see we've kind of drawn the arrows here, so the possibility of a tornado trying to form in these areas. So if you live around Oakboro, Aquadale and that southern and eastern part, I mean, all of Stanley County. If you live in Stanley County right now, you just want to hunker down and head to that safe spot in your house just to be on the safe side in case we do have a tornado trying to form here or touch down. And also up here too, we've been seeing these little nodules forming along that line. These are moving quickly to the north and east. And so yes, Red Cross, Big Lick, Oakboro area, and this is heading right through eventually the rest of Stanley County. And we'll see if the storm tries to weaken a little bit, or at least that sign of rotation. But we are seeing, and notice, yeah, like you said, Brandon, that little bit of a kind of nodule forming there, which could indicate those twisting winds.
And that's just like one particular area, you know.
Right.
We've been seeing kind of like just that little twist, a little S curve there, where we could see that possible spin up. So this tornado warning includes Albemarle, Baden, Red Cross, Oakboro, Stanfield, over in Stanley County. So again, definitely want to make sure you're getting to your safe area, the interior room, the lowest level of your home. You might have family over that you don't usually have over. You might have a big crowd, but you might have to just crowd into that safe spot. I know those spots are usually small, but hopefully you can get some people in the bathtub, some people just in the bathroom area. Just try to get everybody into that safe spot this morning. Luckily, I'm not seeing a lot of rotation up towards Mooresville and up towards Cleveland. It does appear that they actually just updated that. So National Weather Service extending that for Rowan County.
Kind of trimming back now that it's moving away from, say, the downtown Troutman area. It's pushing more to the east and toward Cleveland. So Cleveland and this northern edge of Rowan County are still officially under that tornado warning, just to be safe. And this goes so far until 10:30. But again, as Brandon was saying, we're just not seeing here with that particular part of the storm and that particular line a real defined area of rotation. However, this one is a little more clear, and we were talking about this. When you see kind of those darker shadings, you can almost kind of draw these little nodules here, these areas where we could see some rotation and a possible tornado here trying to touch down. So we're looking at the southern western edge of Stanley County. So if you live in Red Cross and Big Lick and Oakboro areas, or near some of these neighborhoods, or in some of these neighborhoods, Frog Pond. And yes, if you live in Albemarle right now, Baden Lake, just know that that line is heading your way, and we could quickly get that quick spin up tornado. So just hunker down outside, or rather inside, away from those outside walls, away from the outside walls, in an interior room like a closet or a bathroom, a bathtub, for that extra layer of protection, and grab the pillow or something along the way just for that extra protection, just in case we do have a tornado trying to touch down here. We're looking at, again, kind of near the Red Cross and Oakboro areas and Stanfield right now, so this zone. But again, this is all heading toward Albemarle and the Baden Lake area as it's moving quickly to the north and east. And meantime, things have kind of settled down there over uptown Charlotte, and that threat has come to an end for, say, the heart of Mecklenburg County and even northern Mecklenburg County, but we're still concerned about the last here of these couple of lines moving through.
Yeah, so most of our viewing area, this is starting to move off really east of us, but we still have Stanley County and also eastern Iredell County and western Rowan County that we're still watching. Out of the tornado warnings, I'd say, Tara, the one further south, Albemarle's the most imminent, because we are still seeing at least some areas of rotation there. There's a couple different areas there that I'm seeing. One actually just right on the northern edge of the polygon, the tornado warning polygon, just north of Red Cross. And there was another little notch that was popping up just south of that as you're getting down towards the Oakboro area. Right in here, just a small little sliver. It's hard to tell. And again, with this setup, you can see just a little bit of that green popping up there now, just a little bit of that green. So there's a small notch just southeast of Oakboro. And the reason it's so hard to tell, you've done tornado warning covers before. We tell you about the greens and the reds coming together. The reason it's so faint is because they're weaker tornadoes and they're very small. But again, they spin up very quickly, and that's why it's kind of hard to tell at certain times when they come up. But they spin up quickly, they go away, but they can spin up again.
Right.
And that's why we've kind of seen that back and forth. We'll go to it one time, Tara, will be gone. There's no circulation. And then we come back to the next moment, and that area spins, coming right back.
Right, exactly. And that's what we've been seeing here. Again, looking a little bit weaker with the last of that tornado warning up to the north in Rowan County. But right here in Stanley County, this is a little more concerning, where we do have a little bit more of a clear sign of that rotation that continues to hold together as we see these radar sweeps go around and just continuing to update us and the status of the storm and what's going on inside of the storm. And we continue to see these little areas showing up northeast of Red Cross and south of Oakboro right now, where the tornado warning is in effect. So if you live in those areas, and we're saying your city or town or neighborhood as we're talking you through this here, just go ahead and hunker down away from the outside walls and away from the windows, obviously, inside that interior room or closet, even a hallway, as long as it's far enough away from the windows if you don't have that good closet until this threat passes. So Lambert also, we're looking at Bloomington, ND, Hills, Lakeside, Plyler or Plyer rather, Cedar Village, Albemarle. So again, all of this is heading right in your direction. And we'll try and pull up a picture here shortly of downtown Albemarle and see what it looks like out there, because again, it's been relatively tranquil so far. The wind gust's not so bad, but it's really about to pick up over the next few minutes for you all in Albemarle and Stanley
Try and
County.
pull up our Albemarle camera here. Should be able to pull it up here on our end. Let's see what it's showing.
Again, yeah, trees are pretty much still here at the moment. Excuse me. But again, we have that line. You can see the dark clouds in the distance and some leftover raindrops on the camera lens. We have all of that intense weather and the possibility of some rotation, possible tornado that could be headed in this direction in downtown Albemarle. Also, I was looking back, again, here's a quick review of that tornado safety. So you can see on the right side, the little diagram there and the layout of the house where it's highlighted in red, the bathroom, that inside area, even if it's not a bathroom, it could just simply be a coat closet, storage closet. That's the best place to go because it's farther away from the storm. It's away from those outside walls and windows. And then on the left side there of that diagram, you see that red highlighted area down in the basement. But of course, around here, most of us do not have basements. If you have a basement, yes, it's a safer place to go because it's farthest away from the storm. But if you don't have that basement, just as long as you're downstairs, or if you have a one-level home, as long as it's in that interior room, closet, bathroom, away from those outside walls and windows.
Yeah, National Weather Service sending out an update here on that area of rotation. We were actually just pointing that out for you towards Plyer. That's where the National Weather Service is monitoring. So this area of rotation right here, moving up towards Plyer. So just southwest of Albemarle, about 7 or 8 miles southwest of Albemarle. So if you live in Albemarle or really around the Albemarle area, you want to make sure you get in that safe spot that Tara was just talking about, that lowest level of your home. Tara pointed that out well. This is probably I'd say the most defined signature we've seen out of the tornado warnings this morning. That more green popping up there, you can kind of see a little bit more rotation in that area.
Right, so right here and right over, say, the Bloomington neighborhood area and up toward Lakeside and Ashley Heights. So now we're getting more into Albemarle, talking about Cedar Village and that stretch of Highway 52. So that is heading right in that direction with that possible, that rotation showing up within the storm and a possible tornado, which is why we have obviously that tornado warning that does go until 10:30 here this morning for Stanley County. This is the area most concerned right now. So talking about you all right in the heart of Stanley County. So Bloomington, that's headed up toward Lakeside and Plyer and Millingport, and we'll see once we get the latest scan on radar, it will likely have shifted even closer into the Albemarle area and also down to the south too, and St. Martin, Aquadale, and there's Porter on the map too. We're looking at some possible rotation. Endy and Hills and Cedar Village and Albemarle. You live in these areas. If you're hearing us right now, you just want to stay put until that threat has passed. Again, if there's any sort of good news about these lines of storms here today, they are moving so quick through the region, about 50 to 60 miles per hour. And here's another look there at downtown Albemarle, where those clouds are just getting darker and darker, and things aren't looking so bad here at the moment, but in terms of the wind and everything, but that will likely be changing here shortly with that line that is going to be moving through this part of Stanley County. All right, so we've got that intense wind, and looking back at some of those damage reports, unfortunately, we are seeing more damage, reports of damage up in Iredell County and out into Cabarrus County, I believe along Highway 73 in the Mount Pleasant area. Reports of some trees down there. Let's get a closer look. Yeah, so this was, again, talking about Iredell County, a report of a tree on a vehicle on Bramley Road in Mooresville. So they have got the emergency officials checking that out. That will be on Landis Highway between Brumley Road and Teeter Road. This was called into the fire department by a citizen. An emergency management is also en route. And in Taylorsville, too, Paul Payne Store Road, there's a report of a tree blocking a road up there in Alexander County.
I'm going to pull up all of our warnings here because I know we've got the tornado warning, obviously still for Stanley County, but we still have some severe thunderstorm warnings too. So yeah, we've been talking about the tornado warning, of course, for Stanley County, but all of Stanley County, even if you're not in that tornado warning, you still want to be in your safe spot because you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, which there could be 50 to possibly 60-mile-per-hour gusts with this, and we've kind of seen evidence of that. Some of the reports we've gotten from some of the airports, and also further south, Chesterfield County, really starting to take it on the chin here with some very heavy rain, likely some damaging wind gusts there moving through Chesterfield, and even those hail signatures popping up, indicating maybe some small hail moving through Chesterfield and up through Wadesboro.
Yeah, Wadesboro and just to the south of there. So heading down into Chesterfield, Highway 9, Cheraw, this is all headed your way, Morven, and out toward Rockingham, Ellerby, Hamlet areas. Yeah, all of this is moving in your direction. While it's not so bad outside right now, that's going to be quickly changing over the next, say, 15 to 30 minutes or so as that line continues to close in on your area. But again, this is kind of the main region of concern, Stanley County right now, anywhere from New London, all of Stanley County, as Brandon mentioned. And we can see, we were looking at this just a couple of minutes ago, downtown Albemarle. Yeah, we've got that low deck of clouds and the intense weather starting to move in. The rain is picking up, and the wind is going to be blowing around some of those trees down below and some of those holiday decorations too. So yeah, we've got some December severe weather moving through. As we know, severe weather can happen any time of year around here, and even possible tornadoes. And that's what we're looking at here in Stanley County with the warmer temperatures today, more instability in the atmosphere. This was the same part of the same system that brought the severe weather over parts of the deep south yesterday. And so now it's moving through here, obviously, Stanley County, where we're still looking at some signs of rotation right here to the southwest of New London, Albemarle, and just to the south along Highway 52. Possible tornado here. That tornado warning continues until 10:30 as it pushes quickly off to the east. And also, again, we're looking at Plyer and Lakeside and getting into that western edge of the county in Ashley Heights. Yes, this is all heading toward Ashley Heights, Bethany Heights, Clover Fork Acres, Cedar Knolls, New London, Palestine, Baden Lake, Palmerville. That's heading right in that direction there with that possible tornado. So just continue to stay in that safe spot. And if you're watching right now, you live in some of these areas that are in the path of the storm, just go ahead if you can and turn that volume up on the TV. And if that area, that safe spot in your house is close by and you can still try and hear us, but even if you can't hear us, just know that you're in that safe spot here and that storm is moving into your area. So just continue to stay there until we say the threat has passed, because it has passed off to the west of here, but again, it continues. Look at that. So we've got those lowering clouds. Look at that over downtown Albemarle on the left side of the screen, and the rain intensity is picking up as well, Brandon.
Yeah, for sure. And there's two areas of rotation. You were talking about that one just east of Plyer, but there's another one moving up towards Porter, also River Haven. So Albemarle, you definitely need to be in your safe spot. You definitely want to be in your safe spot now, because if there was a tornado on the ground, it'd be crossing south and north of you. There's two areas of rotation there. That one lifting up towards Porter, again, River Haven, Anderson Heights area, so definitely want to pay attention to that. We are getting a report in Rowan County of they have had a few trees down in the southeastern part of Rowan County. So kind of similar to the reports we've been seeing, a lot of trees coming down. Alexander County, their fire department reporting they've got a tree blocking the roadway at Paul Payne Store Road. So definitely seeing a lot of reports of trees down as, a lot of people get up, maybe waking up late today, and they start to see some of those trees down. They make a little bit more reports to the emergency managers.
And you can see, as we're looking, we're just watching this live picture. This is downtown Albemarle that we're looking at right now, and how the rain is just kind of blowing sideways across the lens, or kind of diagonally across the lens too. So obviously the wind is picking up out there, and we're still looking at that possible tornado, which is why we had that tornado warning right through the heart of Stanley County right now, especially for you all in Albemarle and just to the east, Baden Lake area and points south. And we were looking closely and down that stretch of Highway 52, Porter area, where we could be looking at that rotation and a possible tornado here. And the camera is now starting to shake around just a little bit just next to me with the wind that is pushing those raindrops sideways almost at times across the camera lens. So yeah, we're looking, you see the red outline on the map, and and that is where we have that current tornado warning until 10:30 this morning. So we have about 10 minutes or so left on this, and then it's going to be pushing more into obviously neighboring Montgomery County and around the Mount Gilead area. So watching that too. But anywhere from New London down through Albemarle south, Baden Lake area, and even to the south of there, you live south of Baden Lake, Mount Morrow there, or Morrow Mountain, and Anderson Heights, Eastwood Park, River Haven, Holiday Shores, Carolina Forest. That storm is headed your way. That may be trying to produce that tornado. And again, we're seeing that heavy rain that's been moving through the downtown Albemarle area as we speak, from anywhere from New London, Albemarle, and to the south of there, Norwood and Ansonville. So now we're talking about Anson County again. Can't forget about you all too, Anson and Richmond County under that severe thunderstorm warning. So I would say at this point, just treat it, and we've been saying this really all morning long, just treat it as a tornado warning and just kind of head to that safe space inside your house, away from those outside walls and windows, just in case we could get that quick spin up tornado out of this. Good news is, one little piece of good news is that it doesn't last long. It just blows through super fast. I mean, these storms are moving today at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So racing across the area where, again, things are settling down. And I want to point this out too. You all in Monroe, Charlotte area, severe clear. So we are looking good here and down to sections of South Carolina. And the rain has stopped for the most part. It may still be drizzling at times in Gaston County and heading up into Lincoln County, but we look back off to the west and it is much more tranquil looking here west of that I-77 corridor and heading into South Carolina. So this is the main area of concern right now. Eastern Stanley County, Anson, Richmond County, Chesterfield County, where it is heavily raining, and eventually this is going to be pushing out toward Bennettsville, Rockingham, and again, Montgomery County area. And yeah, an update here too, Brandon. So
I was just getting ready to say this.
Right.
The National Weather Service has canceled that tornado warning that was up in Rowan County. That was where we saw that rotation go away and weren't too concerned about it, but they have went ahead and canceled the tornado warning for Rowan County. So now the only tornado warning we have in our viewing area is just the eastern portions of Stanley County. So this includes Albemarle, Baden Lake area. We've been kind of talking about that here over the last 20 minutes, where we've got those areas of rotation there. So still seeing at least one area of rotation just southeast of Albemarle there. Still got a little bit of that green shade trying to pop up right in there. So that's one area of rotation. And we did have that other area of rotation. It's still, I'm kind of just moving my circle up, still just a little blimp there. And again, that's just a sign of a possible weak area of rotation. But again, this could be a quick spin-up tornado, too, just south of New London. So that's why you still want to be in your safe spot and seeking some caution there with that.
Right. So basically lining up right there along Highway 52, Baden Lake area that is headed your way, Albemarle, where it's heavily raining. The wind has been picking up and it's continuing to advance a little more to the east. And so that tornado warning continues for just under 10 minutes right now until 10:30 for Stanley County, Montgomery County, neighboring Montgomery County included in this as well. But again, that intense line of rain is stretching all the way down through Anson County and Chesterfield County too. So we're watching that as well for a possible quick spin up tornado that's blasting through quickly, 50, 60 mile per hour storm motion on this. And that's why there's so much wind. It's all that wind pushing it along so quickly. And again, so that threat continues for Stanley County, Montgomery County tornado warning until 10:30. So just almost only about 7 minutes from now until that expires. And we'll see what happens there as we continue to track the storms to the south as well. But behind this line, even though we still have some rain lingering, it's much lighter. The wind has been settling down, and so we are in the clear. And I know the National Weather Service has been canceling the tornado watch for areas just to our west, and I believe that may include even Mecklenburg County too. But we are getting some more damage reports coming in from, for example, Belmont. There's a report of shingles and flashing blown off a house, privacy fence blown down, and a metal flagpole that was ripped off a front porch, and that was in the Belmont area.
And that was where we had that tornado warning earlier,
right
in that same area. And also in Gaston County, seeing a report of trees down Creekside Drive and also Woodline Avenue. So these are storm reports from earlier, obviously I'd say probably about 20 minutes ago when that storm
Yeah.
blew through. But look at the tornado watch now. You were just mentioning that, Tara. That tornado watch has definitely been trimmed down quite a bit as that line has moved off to the east. The threat has moved off to the east. Areas like Gaston County as you're getting towards Shelby and Cleveland County, York County, Chester County, down towards the Greenville-Spartanburg area, there's no longer a tornado watch. But we still have that tornado watch for Iredell County, Mecklenburg, Cabarrus, and also Union County. But even Mecklenburg County, Iredell County, and I'd say Catawba County too, Tara, where we still have that tornado watch. So we could probably clear those guys as that line of storms has moved off to the east. We're really just worried more so towards Stanley County and also Chesterfield County, where that line's still pushing off to the east. And obviously in eastern Stanley County, where we still have that tornado warning until 10:30 this morning.
Right, so that line is now kind of starting to clear Albemarle area and downtown Albemarle. So the rain has been settling down a little bit compared to just a little bit ago. It was really coming down, but it is really coming down now over Baden Lake. And if you live on the east side of Albemarle and heading over, the lake area and eventually just to the west of Troy. So that's where the most intense weather is, and still looking at, again, the possibility of a quick spin up tornado. We look at all of this red shading that you see on the map, and you may be thinking, what am I looking at here? What am I looking at here? We're watching for these little kind of couplets that show up where the different colors meet up with the lighter reds, like these darker shades here. You can see these kind of little nodules, and that can show, yes, a possible tornado. It shows that rotation happening in the atmosphere and higher up in the storm, but the shifting winds are changing direction here and wrapping around some of that rain. So that could show signs that, yes, we have a tornado trying to form. And again, that's right over the hard Baden right now. River Haven neighborhood out toward Carolina Forest as well. Just continue to hunker down until that threat has passed. And so we've got just another about 4 minutes left on this tornado warning for you all in Stanley County. And if you have friends or family living in Montgomery County as well. So that storm is pressing east right in that direction. River Haven, Wood Run, Holiday Shores, south of Anderson Heights, south of Eastwood Park. We're looking at some of that rotation Porter. And down into Anson County, too, we're watching this line because if you see and if you read some of these bulletins on the severe thunderstorm warning, it says tornado possible. So almost, and that's why we've been saying, treat these severe thunderstorm warnings as if a tornado, almost like a tornado warning, where that tornado could quickly spin up out of this line and the severe weather moving through the area. So yeah, kind of moving around a little bit, and we look at some of the latest radar scans. We're looking at Baden and River Haven, Wood Run, that's heading in that direction, and just about to kind of push out of Stanley County, that eastern edge of the county. But as we zoom in off to the south and Norwood, and so now we're going to be looking into Anson County, Ansonville, the rain really heavy, but we don't see any official kind of rotation signature showing up there. Oh, well,
Yeah,
it looks like, there we go.
I was just getting ready to say, I was noticing a little hook in that line there,
Right.
Down towards Ansonville. So National Weather Service is going to go ahead and issue a tornado warning for that. So that will be out of Raleigh. So that includes Anson County and also Richmond County. So that's a tornado warning that includes Anson and Richmond County until 11 o'clock this morning. So
Yeah, so the National Weather Service, just at 10:26, watching the latest scan of the radar and severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Wadesboro. So we're looking at Wadesboro and near Ansonville, moving northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So this tornado warning again, we've got Anson County, Montgomery County, and Richmond County. That is going to go until 11 o'clock. So we've got another half an hour on this, and we'll continue to watch this storm as it tracks through those areas. But this is moving northeast at 35 near Wadesboro. So this storm, again, Brandon mentioned Ansonville, going to be it's right in the Ansonville area as we speak. We're talking about Blewett Falls Lake, Covington, Polkton, Lylesville, and Ellerby area. So now we're talking about Richmond County. That's going to be moving through those cities and towns here shortly and over the next 30 minutes. So if you live around Blewett Falls Lake, Covington, Polkton, Lylesville, and Ellerby, you just want to take cover now, move to your basement. Of course, most of us around here do not have basements, so you just stay on that lowest level of your home, away from those outside walls and windows. just to be safe in case we could have a tornado trying to touch down. So we've got some of these highlighted red areas here on the TV screen, and obviously this is a basement, but again, most of us around here don't have basements. So you look at this diagram of the house, and it's that interior room, like a bathroom, that extra layer of protection. Bathtub is great if you have the chance to do that, as long as your bathroom obviously doesn't have a window, or a coat closet, a hallway. If you say, oh, my closet is too small or something, or we just don't have that on the inside of our house, a hallway is a great place to go too, just that inside area of the home, just to be safe. So again, now we've got that tornado warning for Anson County, Richmond County, and that will go there until, and we're talking about Montgomery County too, near Mount Gilead, that southern extent of the county, until 11 o'clock.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Tara. So looking towards the warning there that was just issued for Anson County, you're kind of looking, there's just a lot of reds going on here, but the only real area of rotation I'm seeing here is up towards Ansonville, right along Route 52 there. So just this little sliver of rotation there, right there towards Ansonville. So moving over Ansonville. So if there was a tornado here, it'd likely be over Ansonville right now and lifting up towards Mount Gilead. But again, as we've seen with multiple tornado warnings today, there's been several areas of rotation. But luckily in this warning, I'm not seeing necessarily any other areas of rotation except for that one area of rotation up towards Ansonville, crossing Route 52 up towards Mount Gilead, also the Mangum area, X-Way, Ingram. So that's really where we're seeing that area of rotation right now.
Right. So again, yeah, Ansonville area near Wadesboro, Ansonville, and even near Ellerby too, because that storm is moving in that direction. So you live around those spots. Ellerby is included in that red outline there, and south of Troy and Mount Gilead. Again, Ansonville, Highway 52. If you live around any of these areas, just hunker down and stay in that safe place until we say, okay, the tornado warning has been canceled.
And good news for our friends in Stanley County, that tornado warning has been expired. So in Stanley County, you're no longer under the threat for a tornado there, but still got some gusty winds just moving through the eastern edge of Stanley County there. So that's some good news there. Just past Baden Lake, really starting to move out of our viewing area, moving east towards Montgomery County. But we still have this tornado warning. We're obviously tracking for Anson and even just the northwestern sliver of Richmond County as well. Yeah, and even just that part of the storm just east of Lylesville and right there along 74 and heading into Rockingham. Yeah, we could be looking at some hail there, some small hail. We've had some confirmation of that around the Hickory area a little bit ago. And so again, we're talking about Lylesville and areas north and east of there, Ansonville, Ellerby, under that tornado warning until 11 o'clock. So again, we've got that severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So this is not confirmed at this time, just a possible tornado. And that was located kind of near that Ansonville and just north of Wadesboro area, moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. And yeah, we're getting some more reports of wind damage, some of that storm damage there. Gaston County, even around Huntersville, there's a report of 1-inch tree limbs broken and shingles blown off. That was near the Huntersville area. Sharon, with the storm passing through York County earlier, report of 1-inch tree limbs broken, shingles blown off there too. Center City, Charlotte has had some damage of trees uprooted or snapped. There was a report of a roof blown off. Not sure exactly where it was over Center City, Charlotte, but again, just kind of around that area. Cramerton, 3-inch tree limbs broken and power poles broken too. And Brandon was showing you some of those power outage reports earlier as well. So we do have some of those power outages, obviously, that have happened across especially Mecklenburg County and likely happening off to the east, too, with those strong winds blowing through. Yeah, you can see those red dots, like all these little red dots that are popping up, like this one right here. These are some of the storm reports that have come in here of just a lot of tree damage. That's really been the main thing we've seen, a lot of trees coming down out of this. And you were mentioning the power outage. Let me see if I can pull up our power outage map real quick, because I know we definitely saw that number come up after the storm passed Mecklenburg County, so we probably are continuing to see that number come up because obviously those reports, they come in just a little delayed every so often when it comes down to the storm. So looking at power outages now, so we're starting to see Union County, where you didn't have any power outages earlier. Those power outages are starting to come up a little bit. Chesterfield, Anson County, Richmond County, your power outages aren't up yet. But as that gusty line of storms moves through your area, you're likely going to see those power outage numbers come up. Mecklenburg County, 10 to 25,000 without power right now, Tara. So definitely a large number. And obviously, that coming from those gusty winds. We saw 50 to even 60-mile-per-hour gusts roll through the heart of our communities here. So definitely still dealing with those impacts with the trees down, possibly some power lines. But we still have this tornado warning we're tracking for Anson and Richmond County until 11 o'clock this morning. And that really is our main threat at this time as you're getting further east of Charlotte towards Richmond and Anson County. Let me get radar back on here and kind of show where that is so you can kind of see that there.
Right here, so right on the northern edge here and southern edge of this little line here too, kind of in between these areas, Ansonville, Wadesboro, and friends living up into Ellerby and that part of Highway 220 and then 73 there as well. So the southern part of Montgomery County and Ellerby, northwest of there and up toward Mount Gilead, that storm has the possibility of producing a tornado here, certainly capable. We have some strong enough wind. We've seen some twisting winds in the atmosphere showing up on radar from time to time too, so you just want to stay in that safe spot. So right there and east of Wadesboro now, and because Wadesboro and even near Ansonville, the threat appears to be kind of trying to come to an end. Most of the activity is now pushing to the east of you all, but if you live up around Mount Gilead, so southern Mecklenburg, or rather Montgomery County, Ellerby, and just to the west of Rockingham, that's kind of the zone that we're watching here for that possible tornado with that storm advancing to the east, and especially that portion up toward Ellerby. But still, Rockingham, Hamlet, you just want to stay put until this line passes through. It's not going to last terribly long. It's moving through at about 50 to 60 miles per hour at times, but we have that real intense rain that's going to be headed your way, some of that strong wind, Hamlet area as well. And we're looking here at some of the storm winds and the velocity and the potential for some of that twisting wind in the atmosphere. And again, we see a little more of a defined signature from time to time, perhaps right up here and into Mount Gilead and just to the northeast of Ansonville, we could be seeing some of that. But just know that while there's nothing confirmed right now, this area does have the potential of producing a tornado. Until about 11 o'clock, we're going to be watching this here, and hopefully that will be canceled shortly and the storm starts to weaken a little bit more, but we'll be talking you through it here until that threat does pass, as we have been all morning up toward Ellerby. Again, this red area, that's where we're under that tornado warning until 11 o'clock.
Yeah, you can see just a little bit of twisting of the winds there with the reflectivity too. So that's definitely something we're going to be tracking. We're moving through Rockingham and also Sherrill as well. So definitely something, we'll continue to track. So we'll continue to watch that with the heavy rain moving through Rockingham, Sherrill, Hamlet area. So definitely dealing with some strong wind gusts there. Again, you can see just the twisting there, even on the reflectivity, just a little bit of twisting trying to pop up on the reflectivities. When I put this in motion, you can see just how the winds are kind of converging just a little bit there. But overall, I will say, looking at that last reflectivity scan we looked at just a few moments ago, or velocity scan we looked at a few moments ago, not seeing a lot there to indicate, rotation. We've seen stronger signatures this morning for sure through Anson, and also, or we've seen stronger rotation, I should say, further west before this tornado warning was issued for Anson and Richmond County. So that is some good news that we're not seeing a whole lot there. Still want to be in your safe spot, though, east of Ansonville, Mount Gilead, Ellerby. So just a few spots that still want to be in their safe spot. Zooming in a little closer, Ingram, Mangum, Covington, a few other spots that want to be in their safe spot as well.
Right. We just continue to get more damage reports trickling in here in the wake of this damaging line of storms here that has been pushing through the heart of our region. I mean, affecting especially outside of the mountains from Cleveland County and many communities over the rest of the area, points east. Just lots of reports coming in of trees down and some damage to homes across the region. We had a report coming in just a little bit ago from Harrisburg. There's been reports of trees down and shingles blown off on some homes up there in the Harrisburg area. Tega Cay, we're getting reports of damage. Edgemore, and this is in Chester County, Bessemer City and Gaston County, Cramerton, Huntersville. Again, this is from that line that was pushing through earlier, which is now impacting, obviously, with the tornado warning until 11 o'clock. Richmond County now, for the most part, and that southern edge of Montgomery County. But yeah, even though we're severe clear back off to the west, and the Charlotte Metro all the way out through Cleveland County and down into York County, we are in the clear. Now we're assessing the damage after that line has blown through the area. Again, tornado warning, though, does continue until 11 o'clock. So for another about 20 minutes, as long as it is impacting Richmond County, Chesterfield County as well. But the main area of concern with that, the signs of rotation that kind of show up from time to time, is up near Ellerbe and near the Rockingham area too. Just continue to hunker down until that storm passes. It's closing in. It's moving in right now. It's going to be over with quickly. And also, yeah, Cheraw getting hit with that heavy rain at the moment, and that is pushing quickly to the east already. The rain is lightening up over Chesterfield, so we're in the clear there, even though the severe thunderstorm warning does continue for the eastern part of the county with the tornado that could still quickly spin up. So you just want to, stay in that safe spot inside your home, away from those outside walls, near a closet or a bathroom, just in case we have a tornado warning that could be issued. But for now, the main area of concern is up into Richmond County, still showing signs near Rockingham and Ellerbe, possible rotation in that storm.
I will say this line moved through really quickly this morning. I mean, I was thinking this morning, 9 a.m. to about 1 o'clock, the threat continuing. But, I mean, this threat is pretty much diminishing now for most of the area. I mean, when you look at the rainfall, we've just got some light rain really moving over Charlotte, Concord, Salisbury, also Boone dealing with some light rain as well. Just kind of some scattered showers now back behind the main line. So that's some good news. Bad news is we obviously have a lot of trees down, and we've got a lot of power outages to now pick up on. But really, the main thing, Tara, is just the last little sliver of our viewing area. So eastern Richmond County, as you're getting through Chesterfield County, really the last little bit of this line now moving through just the last part of our eastern half of our viewing area here. In regards to tornado warning, obviously you still want to treat, the severe thunderstorm warning in Richmond County and also Chesterfield County that continues. Chesterfield County continues that severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45, and also Richmond County, you've got that severe thunderstorm warning until 11 o'clock this morning. I expect the severe thunderstorm warning for Richmond County to continue until 11 o'clock, but Chesterfield, I wouldn't be shocked if that does get canceled or expire at 10:45 because the line is slowly shifting east of you, but there is still just a little bit of that line of storms that has to move past you.
And we do want to report something along here too, and Brandon, you pointed this out a little bit ago. So there is a part of Landis Highway up in the Mooresville area where the fire department is reporting that they are investigating a pretty bad accident here with a heavy pin in, it looks like, with a tree down that was on a vehicle from earlier today as that storm was moving through. A sad situation there. And this is between Brumley Road and Teeter Road. So if you're listening right now and your travels kind of take you along that part of Landis Highway between Brumley Road and Teeter Road in Mooresville, the North Carolina State Highway Patrol is advising that the highway will be shut down for an extended period of time for an investigation. So again, this is up in the Mooresville area along Landis Highway. They're investigating that accident after the storms moved through there earlier today.
Yeah, definitely a sad situation there. And, when it comes down to severe weather, it's just these storms, they move through quickly, but they definitely packed a punch this morning.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of trees knocked down, a lot of power outages. We've seen a good amount of tornado warnings, but we haven't had any confirmed tornadoes, which is good news right now. We still have the tornado warning. National Weather Service in Raleigh actually just going to continue this till 11 o'clock.
Right.
They've kind of shrunk it up a little bit, Tara. So it was including Ansonville earlier and Wadesboro, but now the tornado warning just includes kind of the Mount Gilead area, Ellerbe, Ingram, Mangum, and Covington. So these are the areas now that are still under that tornado warning, and you still want to be in your safe spot here.
Right, and Ellerbe, of course, too, and just wherever you see that red outline. So we're talking about northern Richmond County and into Montgomery County. So that tornado warning does continue until 11 o'clock this morning, now that that storm is kind of shifting and continues to shift. And you can see with the updates on the radar scans how we have that just sliding ever more farther to the east and north and east. So this is moving quickly through along Highway 73, that part of 220, and near the Ellerbe area.
I'm going to switch radars here to Raleigh and see if we can't. So we've been on the Greenville-Spartanburg radar, but this is switching to Raleigh. See if it doesn't show maybe any more areas of rotation there. I mean, it's still just kind of some very weak twisting, but other than that, it's not a big signature there in that area.
We see that kind of stretched out line, so just an indication of the strong wind that's moving through. But like we've been saying all morning here, we look for those defined little more couplets instead of just that straight line, which obviously can do some damage as well. But when it comes to a tornado, that could be a longer lived situation. Again, we just look for that little couplet, that little definition. We're not seeing a strong signature of that, a strong indication of that with that part of the storm moving into Ellerbe right now, but it is still certainly a possibility that we could get that quick spin up, which is why the tornado warning does continue until 11 o'clock.
Yeah, you can see just kind of when you look at the reflectivity and see the storms, you can see just a little twisting there of the winds.
Right.
It's likely what the National Weather Service is seeing there, just a little twisting on the reflectivity. But when we do look at those winds and look at the velocity scan from that, we definitely see a little less of that.
Right.
But you can kind of see it. I mean, you can see just a little bit. Let me freeze it here to current time. And I mean, you can see just a little bit, but not as much. And we've definitely seen some stronger signatures than that. But nevertheless, you want to be in your safe spot anyway, because we've got, very strong winds moving through.
And as we say, wind is wind. I mean, whether we're talking about 50, 60 mile an hour wind gusts or a stronger tornado, either way, we could see some damage happening here. So that's
exactly right. And, I feel like the severe thunderstorm warnings were really good too, because a lot of people were still seeking shelter and getting into that safe spot. Even if there was an isolated tornado, you would have been in that safe spot seeking shelter because of the severe thunderstorm warnings we've seen. And I want to show something to you. I was just noticing this from the National Weather Service. They've trimmed down this tornado watch quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's come down quite a bit now. We've seen just the tornado watch in effect for Lancaster and down towards Chesterfield County. And obviously we still have that tornado warning down towards Richmond County. But tornado watch that was going to be in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon has expired for much of the area, been canceled for much of the area due to that line moving through and the atmosphere stabilizing a bit. And now we're just still in some light rainfall. But again, we still have that tornado warning. Still want to take this very seriously over in Richmond County. It continues until 11 o'clock. We'll definitely stay on the air until that warning expires here. But this includes Richmond County, Ellerbe, and also the X-Way, Covington, Capples Mill, and Ingram area. That runs, the tornado warning runs until 11 o'clock this morning. So definitely want to make sure you're seeking some shelter there and go into that safe spot, the interior room, and also that lowest level of your home.
Right. Yeah. So again, tornado warning until 11 o'clock. So just under 15 minutes from now. And we'll just continue to track the storm until it is totally clear of that northern edge of Richmond County and southern Montgomery County. And we look back off to the south and west where, again, we were talking about that tornado warning for Anson County. So Anson County, for the most part, you are in the clear here. So it's really just the leftovers here of this strong line that is now moving into the Rockingham area. So Anson County, I mean, even though we still have that official tornado warning, that will likely be trimmed back here shortly, because now most of that, and right here, the southern edge of this storm, notice a little bit of a nodule here, kind of at the tail end. This is kind of the zone that we're watching, as we've been saying all along, near Ellerbe and the Mount Gilead area and neighborhoods in between for that possible rotation that could still be trying to form. Regardless, I mean, we're getting some pretty intense wind at times and possibly some at least small hail coming out of the storm too. Look at those deep shades of purple and red showing up on the radar. Here we are, Highway 73. So traveling south of Candor and out toward, again, that eastern part of Richmond County. We're talking about Hoffman Way too. Oh boy, that rain is really about to pick up along Route 1 and Hamlet, friends, as well. Dobbins Heights, Highway 74, Route 1, right at that intersection. That rain is continuing to close in, really coming down, some strong wind. But again, it's really the northern edge of this line that we're watching for that possible tornado. So even though if you're watching from, say, the Rockingham area, Hamlet, you're under that severe thunderstorm warning, I would say just treat it, as we've been saying too all along this morning, as a tornado warning warning because that could quickly change. We could get that quick spin up tornado happening right along this line as we may start to see some rotation quickly forming. But yeah, it's right here just to the south of Troy, Ellerby, that we're still watching for that possible tornado and possibly some damaging wind here into Ellerby until 11 o'clock. That's moving quickly to the east, and so traveling right along that Highway 74, Route 1, 220 area. Highway 73 there, northern part of the county, and quickly advancing east. And so this is going to be moving into obviously the central and eastern part of the state and down through South Carolina too, they have had those tornado watches in effect. But as Brandon was pointing out, that threat has come to an end. So we are severe clear for Charlotte, for Shelby, for Hickory, the mountains, down through most of our South Carolina communities here, Rock Hill and Fort Mill, and down into Chester County, Lancaster County, Indian Land, Union County, Salisbury, Concord. The severe threat has passed and it is moving to the east, but it does continue for another few minutes, about 10 minutes or so until 11 o'clock for that northern part of Richmond County.
Yeah, and again, we still have that tornado warning. It's the only thing we're really tracking right now, just the eastern sliver of our viewing area down towards Richmond County. And when we put this in motion, you can see a little bit of the rotation there, just kind of between these two areas of reflectivity. But other than that, not a big sign of much in this area. But again, you still have those gusty winds. You have the threat for heavy rainfall and even the potential for some small hail there. We advance this now, you can see right over Ledbetter and Ellerby, just some of those purple shades. That could be a sign of maybe some small hail popping up in that storm as well.
Yeah, let's see if we can, maybe change it over to that hail tracker if we have any reports of that. Or, I know we have certainly some signs of that, like Brandon was saying, with the purple showing up, and Highway 73 and just the east of Ellerby, pretty intense line there. And again, we're still watching for that possible rotation here and just the northwest of Ellerby and Highway 73, and that's quickly advancing to the east. So that's why we still have that tornado warning, possibly a tornado trying to form in this zone. So that northern part of Richmond County, but it's pushing to the east. Again, if you're watching from the Hoffman area, Route 1 and down into Hamlet, Dobbins Heights, yes, you know that heavy rain is coming down outside. And still some at least gusty wind, some possibly damaging wind gusts here that we could be looking at just the east of the Rockingham area, just the west of Rockingham. Things are starting to settle down a little bit, but that line traveling right through eastern now parts of Richmond County, Dobbins Heights, Hamlet, Rockingham, Route 1 up toward 220 and Ellerby. That's kind of the zone of concern, the Ellerby area for that quick spin up tornado at the moment. But yes, so we still have yet to get through Hoffman, eventually into Pine Bluff and Southern Pines area. That storm is going to be moving in, but otherwise this is going to be eastern Chesterfield County too. Over Cheraw, we've been tracking the heavy rain and strong wind gusts. This is going to be the last of it though as it pushes to the east. And let's see if we can get a look, Brandon, let's take a look at Futurecast and what could be on tap for later on today after this severe threat has passed.
Yeah, so again, let's move on to the east. And after this, it's just likely just going to be a few scattered showers through the day. This morning, I was concerned about maybe a secondary line, maybe a few broken showers later today. But I'll tell you what, our atmosphere has been worked over quite a bit. It would be hard to destabilize our atmosphere and have that severe threat materialize. But we could definitely see maybe an isolated shower, maybe a thunderstorm later today around dinner.
Right.
Don't be shocked if you hear a clap of thunder. It's not going to be like what we're seeing this morning, but definitely a possibility of an isolated heavier downpour, some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder as well. And then tonight and really into tomorrow, it's going to clear out quite well as we go into really the work week here. So for Monday, maybe still have the day off. Going to be a pretty nice day, a mix of sun and clouds in the morning. Probably a few showers still in the mountains early, maybe some fog. And then by the afternoon, look at that. Plenty of sunshine, drier conditions. So really nice day ahead for tomorrow. And really for the rest of today, it's not going to be bad. We're just probably going to be more on cleanup duty more than anything. Cleaning up some limbs. Maybe you had some holiday decorations that got blew over quite a bit from this. It's just going to be mainly about cleaning things up. And of course, obviously, we've got some road closures that we're dealing with, too, due to trees down. So bear with those folks over in Mooresville. They're still dealing with some trees down right on Landis Highway between Brumley Road and Teeter Road. They expect that Landis Highway is going to be shut down in that area for an extended period of time as North Carolina State Highway Patrol continue to work on that scene. So just be careful and be patient with everybody out there. I know it's a Sunday morning, probably got some family in town, and I know a lot of folks are still off for the holidays. Now, I will say, if you're looking to maybe travel today, maybe you have to be out on the roads. Maybe you're going back home. Honestly, it looks pretty good. Now, if you're traveling east towards Raleigh, probably want to use a little bit of caution there. But even traveling east towards Raleigh, this line's going to outrun you. So if you were heading to Raleigh now, this would likely be past Raleigh by the time you got there.
And kind of chasing it.
Yeah, you'd be kind of just following the line. So, yeah, if you've got plans to head home, I-77, I-40, I-85, 485 loop looking clear right now.
Yeah.
Really just watching the last little edge of the storm moving through Rockingham and Hamlet, eastern Richmond County. And
it looks like now, Brandon, so the National Weather Service out of Raleigh did allow that tornado warning to be canceled a little bit earlier. The polygon, the little box there, is still showing up. But yeah, so just a couple of minutes ago, they did expire that tornado warning for Anson, Montgomery, and Richmond County. But we'll continue to track this here for another couple of minutes for you until it has passed, until that threat has passed. But again, tornado warning is canceled.
Yeah,
now.
that's very good news. Very good news that we no longer have a threat of severe weather over our area, but we still have at least some heavier rain moving through Rockingham, maybe some small hail there, looks like, Tara, just through the eastern portions of Richmond County. But luckily, we don't have that tornado warning. Let me double check. We might still have just a severe thunderstorm warning there for this, because I know there's probably still some gusty winds. I'll just go ahead and cue that up. So yeah, we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for Richmond County until 11 o'clock this morning.
And just be aware, so we still have that intense line that's still heading toward the Hoffman area, possibly with some small hail, definitely some strong wind gusts, possibly damaging wind gusts as well. And down through the Hamlet area, it's still heavily raining. That's cleared. That band of the most intense rain has cleared the Cheraw area, so you all are in better shape here at the moment, but it's heading toward Gibson, Laurinburg, up there and out into Scotland County. But yeah, Hamlet along 74, still getting that rain, but as we've been saying, that little box is still showing up, but the National Weather Service did go ahead and cancel officially that tornado warning for northern Richmond, Montgomery County, and northern Anson County. There it goes. It just disappeared with the latest update. So we have a couple more minutes with you, and again, we just want to reiterate that there could still be a couple of spotty showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two with some gusty wind a little bit later on this afternoon. But Brandon, is that the update? Yeah, look at that.
The whole tornado watch again has been cleared for our area. So that's good news. And again, if you're going to be out and about today, honestly, the weather pattern is still going to be mild over the next few days. We'll be in the 60s tomorrow, and also for New Year's Eve, Tuesday, we'll have another front moving through. Nothing like this, but a few scattered showers New Year's Eve, and also as we go into New Year's Day, we'll get much cooler in regards to the 7-day forecast. So again, if you're going to be out and about for the rest of today, we had that pinpoint weather alert for this morning. I believe we can pretty much drop that for the rest of today. Maybe just a few isolated cells later this afternoon into the evening. Temperatures in the mid-60s, though. Mild conditions really for early this week. And I've been saying New Year's Day, it's going to be kind of Mother Nature saying New Year, new me, because we're going to get much colder.
We are.
Right on New Year's Day. So
it's been chilly the past couple of days, but yeah, we've had that warm-up happening today and just kind of a spring-like atmosphere almost with those temperatures up into the 60s. But again, you mentioned it's going to be back to wintertime as we get into the new year.
Yeah, big cold pattern taking shape. But again, we'll be on, I believe it's 6 o'clock this afternoon.
Right, and later on this evening.
Things. So we know we've got
after football, of course.
Right after football. Enjoy the game. Just be careful on some of the roads. Might have some tree limbs and stuff down, but we'll keep you updated definitely throughout the day on Queen City News.
They're actually watching down in Tampa, too, where the game, of course, here is happening today for the chance of some strong and some possibly even severe thunderstorms. So hopefully that doesn't disrupt the game too much.
Hopefully not. But if it does, hopefully you can get through just as quick as it got through here.
Right.
So we'll have more updates coming up later this evening on Queen City News Now. Have a good day, folks.